free college football picks. This is action here for Saturday, December 17th. Tony T with our college football pick show here for Saturday action. We have all 6 games, 4 games, just a couple of things. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Free college football picks are updated all season long. Free picks every day from all the major sports. We also have NFL. We have NBA, college basketball, World Cup, NHL, and more. It is a good time to subscribe. And also, if you would support our channel, give us that thumbs up. We greatly appreciate it. Then visit Tony'sPicks.com. We are a multi-capper site showcasing top cappers in our industry. Click the links to the hot cappers to get signed up to some of our long-term passes. Right now, take a look at some of our hot cappers like Probably's been hot, Mindy, Ben, Tiffany. Click the links and get signed up to our long-term passes. You'll find our pre picks here on the center of the page here with our featured picks. Our best bets are up there. Each capper can release 1 best bet per sport per day. Many up there here for Saturday's big card of action. We got a lot of everything, right? NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL, MMA, World Cup. Tons of action here on Saturday. Our $15 premium pick. Each capper can designate one of their plays on their card as a $15 premium pick just to introduce their service to new and existing customers. 3 packs are great value up there right now. Many of them up on this big Saturday board. So go ahead and get signed up. If you prefer, you can buy our picks a la carte on our pick ticker with team versus team information. Our promo code is TonyT. You can save 20% off all premium pick packages. When you use that promo code TonyT, you can access our page by clicking the link you see in the description. Click the All Cappers tab and get signed up. Always love to hear you guys in the comments. So post your picks in the comments below. Also, looking for cappers, you can apply at our Overrunner site. And, of course, our podcast. We put every show and every pick in podcast form. Tony's Picks is the podcast, available on all major platforms. Just search Tony's Picks. All right, let's get this one started. Cincinnati versus Louisville, college football pick here for Saturday in the bowl action. Head coach Luke Fickell exits the Bearcats for Wisconsin. Louisville has also announced their head coach for next season. Both starting quarterbacks are out of this game. Bearcats fell to 9-3, a 27-24 defeat at home in the AAC championship game to the Tulane Green Wave. Sophomore Evan Prater had a poor outing in the loss to the Green Wave, just 38% completion rate, 3.9 yards per attempt on the season, a 54% completion rate with 6.5 yards per attempt. He's been with the program since 2020. Louisville, they fell to 7-5, a 26-13 road defeat to Kentucky. Brock Dolman completed 2/3 of his passes, 67%, 6.1 yards per attempt, but he only threw for 129 yards with a touchdown and a pick on the year. Dolman, a 54% completion rate, 7 yards per attempt. Cardinals have the more efficient offense over the final 3 games. They do have a lot of opt-outs, so backup playmakers will see significant roles, but still prefer the Cardinals over in this spot. The play here will be on Louisville at minus the 1.5. Florida versus Oregon State, college football pick. This one here is on Saturday. Florida quarterback Anthony Richardson is opted out of this bowl game heading to the NFL. Well, at least the NFL draft. Wish them luck. Florida finished at 6-6 after their 45-38 road defeat to Florida State. Now, Jack Miller is an Ohio State transfer who has attempted 14 passes this year. He'll be under center. Many of the Gators receiving crew opted out, but SEC teams, they have depth in these playmaker positions. They have players ready to roll. Oregon State 9-3 after their 38-34 home win to Oregon. Beavers' season turned around with a change of Ben Gulbranson at quarterback over Chance Nolan, who was mistake-prone. Gulbranson in the win against Oregon, though, just 46% completion rate, 4.6 yards per attempt. He threw for 60 yards and 2 interceptions. On the season, Gulbranson, a 62% completion rate with 7.4 yards per attempt. With many opt-outs, the Gators' backups on offense will get their chance to get on that top of that depth chart for next season. No coaching changes at Florida, so next season begins here. The line moved too much, I believe. The play here will be Florida at plus the 8.5. Washington State versus Fresno State, college football pick Saturday. Washington State finished at 7-5 after their 51-33 home defeat to Washington. They moved the football for 433 yards in the win. Sophomore quarterback Cameron Ward has started all 12 games. In the loss to the Huskies, Ward completed 63% of his passes for 6.2 yards per attempt. He passed for 322 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ward on the year completed 64% of his passes, 6.7 yards per attempt Fresno State are champions of the Mountain West after that 28-16 win at Boise State 2 weeks ago. Bulldogs have won 8 straight. Fresno State quarterback Jack Haener is an NFL prospect playing in this game to help his draft status. In the win against Boise State, he completed 63% of his passes with 6.8 yards per attempt. He threw for 184 yards and a touchdown. Haener a 72% completion rate with 18 touchdowns, 3 picks, and 8.3 yards per attempt. Past 3 games, Bulldogs defense holding teams to 300 yards. Kruger's defense giving up 492 yards, 5.3 yards per rush, 351 passing with 8.6 yards per attempt. Lots of motivation for Haener for a good look as he missed games due to injury earlier in the year. The play here will be on Fresno State at -4. Rice versus Southern Miss, college football pick. This one here is on Saturday. Rice is a lone losing team in the Bowls. They sit 5-7. They come off a 21-17 road defeat at North Texas for the 3rd straight loss. Quarterback TJ McMahon has not played the past 2 games and has not participated in practice. Looks like AJ Padgett will be the starter. Padgett in the loss to North Texas completed 59% of his passes, 10.4 yards per attempt. He passed for 229 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. This season, Padgett a 50% completion rate with 8.5 yards per attempt. Southern Miss finished at 6-6. They beat UL Monroe 20-10 on the road to become bowl eligible after losing 3 straight Conference USA games. Quarterback Trey Lowe completed 62% of his passes in the win, 10.6 yards per pass attempt. He threw for 170 yards and a touchdown. This season, Lowe, 53% completion rate, 7.7 yards per attempt. The senior has a year of eligibility left, so a good showing can really put him in contention for next season's starting job. Rice defense past 3 games, giving up 417 yards, 6.4 yards per rush, 8.4 yards per pass attempt. Golden Eagles defense the better form play here. Southern Miss at -6.5. SMU versus BYU, college football pick for Saturday. Quarterback Jaron Hall is doubtful for BYU with that ankle injury he suffered in the final regular season game against Stanford. Now SMU 7-5 after that 34-31 home win to Memphis. They did win 4 of 5 to close the season, with the loss coming at Tulane. Tanner Mordecai, an Oklahoma transfer, is in his final year of eligibility. He completed 73% of his passes with 7.6 yards per attempt in the win. He threw for 228 yards and 2 touchdowns. Mordecai on the campaign at 64% completion rate with 8.1 yards per attempt. A top 10 passer in the country. He will get a look up in the NFL draft, so there's motivation for a good showing. BYU has won 3 straight after their 35-26 road win at Stanford. Cougars rolled up 451 yards, 358 rushing in the win. Past 3 games, Cougars have averaged 244 rushing yards with 6 yards per rush. BYU backup Jake Conover has transferred, leaving the team in a bind. Cade Finnegan is reported as the likely starter in this bowl game. He is a Boise State transfer who threw 28 passes in the 2020-2021 season, last time we've seen action. But BYU is likely to keep this one on the ground, which is a good thing considering the Mustangs' run defensive pass per games is allowing 214 yards and 5.5 yards per rush. Cougars have the better defense to play here. BYU at +4.5. North Texas versus Boise State, college football pick Saturday. North Texas finished at 7-6. They fired their head coach, Littell, and now the defensive coordinator is taking over. Mean Green fell in Conference USA title game to UTSA 48-27, giving up 571 yards with 344 in the passing game. Quarterback Austin Ani is a junior and announced that he will enter the NFL draft next season. Ani in the loss completed 48%, 6.7 yards per attempt. He passed for 194 yards and 2 interceptions. On the year, he has completed 57% of his passes, 8.7 yards per attempt. A completion rate this low for a conference that has very, very, very poor defenses has really one scratching his head about Andy going pro. Boise State concluded their regular season at 9-4 after that 28-16 home loss to Fresno State in the Mountain West Championship game. Broncos showed improvement with the quarterback change to the running style of Taylon Green. He had a poor showing in the loss to the Bulldogs by completing just 44%, 4.6 yards per pass attempt. He passed for 175 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. On the year, Green a 61% completion rate with 7.7 yards per attempt. His average 6.8 yards per rush, 467 yards Broncos leading running back out with injury, as well as the 2 rotational receivers. Now look, the Boise State coach is their former defensive coordinator, and the interim coach for North Texas is their defensive coordinator. So I expect defense to be the focus. Broncos have played well on defense this year. The play here will be on Boise State and North Texas to go under total of 59.5. That was our college football pick show here for Saturday. Make sure to like and subscribe and give us that thumbs up. We greatly appreciate it. Visit Tony'sPicks.com for our best bets on this big Saturday card of football and basketball, as well as hockey and more, and MMA as well. So we got premium picks there for you as well. So lots going on at Tony's Picks. Remember the promo code TonyT at checkout. You'll save 20% off. All right, we got football covered. We'll have NBA and college hoops coming up shortly. I'm Tony T. Back in a little bit.